You ever see one of those massive cargo ships and just wonder what's really holding it all together? I mean, it can't just be that outer shell, right? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on a piece of engineering magic. It's something that is absolutely critical, but almost completely hidden from view. So, let's dive in.
Okay, so picture this. You've got this colossal ship, right? We're talking 100,000 tons. That's heavier than, I don't know, 15,000 elephants? Now imagine it gets a big hole punched in its side. Common sense says it should just sink, but a lot of the time, it doesn't. So what's the secret? What is that one crucial piece of tech that stands between a little bit of damage and a complete disaster?
Well, the answer comes down to fixing a really fundamental weakness. You see, even though these ships are giants, they have this surprisingly simple Achilles heel.
So, when you get right down to it, a ship's hull is basically just one enormous metal box. Think of it like a giant bathtub. And just like any container, you poke one hole in it and water's going to rush in. If you don't have some kind of internal defense system, a single puncture could mean game over, unstoppable flooding. So the real challenge for engineers was, how do you stop the whole ship from failing just because one part gets damaged?
And the solution? Oh, it's one of those ideas that's so simple, it's brilliant. It just changes everything. Instead of trying to build an invincible outer shell, which is basically impossible, the designers looked inward. They figured, hey, let's divide and conquer.
And this is how they did it, with the bulkhead. It's basically an inner wall, right? Built right inside the hull. Its main job is to chop up that huge open space into a bunch of smaller, totally watertight rooms or compartments. So now, if one of those sections gets flooded, the bulkheads on either side just seal it off. The water gets trapped, and the rest of the ship stays afloat. So simple, but absolutely genius. But, and this is where it gets really cool, stopping floods? That's just job number one. The bulkhead is a serious multitasker. It actually has 4 key powers that honestly make all of modern shipping even possible.
Yeah, these walls do so much more than just hold back water. First off, they're like a skeleton for the ship, adding a ton of structural strength to keep the hull from bending and to support the decks. Second, yeah, they contain floods. We covered that. Super important. Third, they break up the hull into different sections. This is huge because it means you can carry all sorts of different cargo at the same time without it all mixing together. And fourth, they act as firewalls, creating fire-resistant compartments. If a fire breaks out, it gets trapped in one zone instead of spreading through the whole ship.
Now you might be thinking, a wall is a wall, right? But nope, not all bulkheads are the same. Engineers have come up with a few different designs and ways to place them to get the most strength and efficiency. So let's kind of break down the anatomy here.
Okay, so first, you can place them side to side. That's called transverse. This layout is great for stopping the ship from twisting. Or you can run them from the front to the back. That's longitudinal. And that's absolutely key for giving those super long ships, like oil tankers, the strength they need along their length.
And how they're built matters a lot too. So take a look at these two types. Over on the left, that's what's called a plain bulkhead. It's just a flat sheet of steel, but you see all those beams welded onto it? Those are called stiffeners, and they're there to give it strength. Now look at the one on the right. That's a corrugated bulkhead. Its secret weapon is that wavy, kind of accordion-like shape. That shape itself makes it super rigid.
And this really shows you the kind of trade-offs engineers are always making. The plain one is easy to design, but you have to weld on all those heavy stiffeners. The corrugated one is a bit trickier to make, but because it's naturally strong, it doesn't need any of that extra stuff. And the result? It's actually lighter and stronger. I mean, that is a massive win in shipbuilding. Every bit of weight you save on the ship structure is weight you can use for cargo, or it's fuel you don't have to burn. It all adds up. Okay, check out this blueprint. Don't worry, you don't need to be an engineer to get the big idea here. See how those wavy, corrugated bulkheads aren't just walls dividing up the space? They're actually connecting everything. The inner hull, the outer hull, the bottom of the ship, the main deck. It's not just some divider they dropped in there. It's a core part of the ship's skeleton, locking the whole thing together into one incredibly strong structure.
So really, the next time you see one of these giant ships, remember what you're actually looking at. It's not one big empty container. It's a whole collection of smaller, stronger, and much safer boxes, all thanks to this incredible and usually invisible piece of engineering.
The bottom line is pretty simple. Without the humble bulkhead, modern ships would be weaker, they'd be way more likely to sink, they couldn't carry as much different cargo, and they'd be a death trap if a fire ever broke out. It really is, no exaggeration, the unsung hero of the high seas.
And that really makes you think, doesn't it?
Our whole world is built on countless little innovations just like this one. These elegant, super effective solutions to big problems, just quietly working in the background. It makes you wonder, what other brilliant inventions are hiding right there in plain sight?